888-528-5250.
Every human is a brand. Every brand has a story. What's your story? Discover your story at thepinkcollective.com.
At Mr. Restoration, our main goal is to get your family back into your home safe and sound. We are a Florida property damage remediation company with over 20 years' experience in the industry. We specialize in water, mold, fire, and smoke damage. We cover residential, commercial, and industrial properties. Things get hard when a homeowner or renter has to face these problems, but we are here for you. We are with you from the time of the emergency to the moment it's time to get you back into your property. We make property managers, public adjusters, insurance agents, maintenance crews, homeowners, and renters' lives more efficient and easier by following a step-by-step SOS foolproof plan. Put us on speed dial this year and make us your #1 visit at MrRestorationFL.com or call us at 844-878-5285. Interact with us and stay up to date with all the latest news by liking, following, and sharing on all social media platforms. Mr. Restoration, veteran-owned, 2 decades of experience. We served our country. Now let us serve you. The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Are you ready to go beyond? Welcome to my show, Go Beyond. I'm your host, Jordana Foster. Each week, I will be showing you how to go beyond your limiting beliefs to take you and your business to the next level. If you're ready to redefine, recommit, reset, and re-engage yourself, this is the time, this is the place. Go beyond. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Go Beyond. I'm your host, Jordana Foster. As a motivational speaker, trainer, and mindset coach, I help individuals, entrepreneurs, and businesses to clarify their goals, to get out of their own way, to go beyond their limiting beliefs, to be more, do more, and have more in their personal lives and professional lives. If you're not achieving the goals that you want to in your life or business, personally and professionally, let me help you. I do masterminds and workshops, one-on-ones and group settings. I do them virtually. I do seminars. We do book studies. Anything to help people, either in a group setting or individually, just really be focused and clear on their intention and on their goals. I can help you go beyond. Contact me at readysetgobeyond@gmail.com or like and message me on my Facebook page at Ready, Set, Go Beyond. So
nailed
it is
that. So good.
I know. So it is my absolute pleasure once again to welcome my awesome guest here tonight, Rolly Rodriguez, CEO and founder of the incredible Pink Collective. That's you, right? Pink Collective Advertising Agency in downtown Hollywood, and his main man, his partner in crime,
my yang.
yes, right, Bert
Or
Bornstein, however you want. Brand strategist of Pink Collective. I want to thank you so much for being here tonight and also being not only my special guest, but my sponsors of Go Beyond. It's a thrill having you here.
Well, we're happy to be here.
Move that closer so everyone can hear you. Perfect. So we're going to just jump right into this because I want everybody to know, our listeners and our viewing audience, you guys are really experts at Pink Collective, at the Pink Collective, in storytelling when it comes to branding. And I wanted you to kind of touch upon that and explain a little bit about the power and the strength of storytelling and why it's so important and why that's one of your main focuses to help your clients, be more successful in getting that engagement and everything.
You want to start? You want to?
Sure.
Well, a little breakdown of storytelling.
Well, the essence of it really, to Rolly and I, is we look at every brand is sort of like a human being. It has its own soul, its own unique kind of soul, if you will. Right. And we try to really uncover or discover what is that soul, what is the essence of that person or that organization's soul, and that's what makes it unique and different from anything else out there. And so as a lot of times organizations or leaders will see themselves a certain way, but because Rolly and I sort of are from the outside looking in,
Right.
we sort of see things a little bit differently or a little bit maybe clearer.
Exactly.
And we look at it as if this organization is a human being, and what is uniquely different and special, and every person has their own story, which is quite unique.
Right.
So if we can capture that in a practical way, how that creative piece can drive strategy, that's what we go after. So it's a different way of looking at it, at branding, coming from that story narrative. We look at what the characteristics are,
Right.
what the leading cast of characters are telling that story.
I love that. That's such an authentic way of looking at it, because everybody who has a business, it starts with the person who owns the business and what their message is and why. And so you're basically, I love the human component that you're really keying in on. So go ahead, Ron.
the whole human thing has really become a thing for us, because especially with all the things going on today, there's all the media, all the advertising, all the stuff that you're exposed to.
Right.
We want to create the most simplistic message, and then that's the hardest. It's really connecting to that audience in a way that is truly unique to the brand. And so storytelling has become that vehicle for us, really capturing, and like Bert was saying, is hearing our client, which is the biggest challenge. And it's not just imposing what we feel is right, with times today. So we want to be relevant, and in order to be relevant, we got to tap into the essence, as Bert mentioned, and then really define that messaging.
And that's a great point, because so many people, they think that they have a story and a message, but it might not be what's going to be compelling, or they haven't peeled away. I think on one of the shows you talked about peeling away the layers, right, Bert? And so when you get down to the basics and get really clear on what it is and why and what they're trying to accomplish and who their audience is, that's where the good stuff happens that you guys create and help them uncover.
And I think a lot of people are getting confused by the whole storytelling. They're really thinking that we're just like making up a fictitious story. No, this is a really authentic story based on the client. And so our approach from the human side, again, is like we treat the brand as a person, live and breathing, and we try to really tap into what makes them passionate about what they do.
It really comes down to as a person, what is the experience that people have when they meet you, right? How do they feel? What's the emotional contact? Is there a sense of wanting a relationship there? Do they feel better with you in their life, their circle of influence? Do they want more of you? Well, it's the same way with an organization. Without going any further than that, we try to really challenge everything about an organization down to that personal, relational level, until they really start to see that they haven't really gone to that place yet. And then we bring it back out in the most simplest way that they can communicate it. But as Rolly said, they really have to own it. People really have to own it themselves. So I think the breakdown has been that people have been used to sort of maybe pitching instead of
pitching, right?
We started
from
that
the old
way.
world,
The old days, we were pitching,
right?
And instead of being where we come from, like, who are you really? Just your being. Once we capture that, then we can start to shape shift it in a lot of different ways. The marketing comes later, the advertising comes later. It's the being part, the brand identity.
The word, the experience is a big word.
The experience part of who you are that we're after first.
So there were a few key words there, and we can really talk for a really long time. But I want to. So if there, we have business owners who are watching and in their cars listening, coming home from work, and how do they go about, they might have a brand that they might not have ever had an agency help them, or they might be a startup or a new product or app or whatever it might be that needs to get out there. What are the beginning steps that someone might take with Pink Collective, and how is it that you can help them on this journey of experience and everything? Because I think it can be, you guys, the key word is simplify it and the clarity, and you want to take something that people can be a little overwhelmed by or not really know what it is, and to know that you guys can offer this simplistic, it doesn't mean that it's going to be easy, because you do break through, but the transformation that I've seen with your clients is exceptional, and we'll talk about some of those, but talk about either the part of the shifting and also like that next step of how they, I know you guys do like a strategy session. What's the next step that somebody who's watching, they don't know, like what do they do to get in touch with Pink Collective, and how does that look like?
So the easiest step is just start the conversation. Okay. So a phone call.
And how do they call you? What do they reach you? There's
so you can call us directly. Yeah, you can call us directly at 954-241-1400.
Okay.
And or you can reach us on info@thepinkcollective.com. Just simply email us, and we can get in contact with you guys that way. But start with a conversation. Like let's just have a simple conversation. I usually start that way. We'll ask a few questions, but it starts with the client challenging themselves.
Right.
To really, are people really experiencing us, the company, the way we want them to? So you start there, the conversation then starts, and then from that point on, we'll start to talk details and then potentially outline a project. But everything starts with a discovery. And then that discovery, I mean, that's really where it all gets intimate, and we really get into digging deep into what they're about. And I mean, Bert, from crying, from laughing, good crying, not bad crying.
There is good
but
crying.
It's challenging. It's definitely challenging because we want to get to a place of truth.
Well, we're not. I wouldn't say we're intentionally.
Yes.
We're intentionally disruptive.
Intentionally disruptive.
We are. I mean,
great.
We're
I like that.
Oh, that's wonderful.
That's just the way we are. That's the way the way we are individually, and we're that way together.
Right.
And if we're really going to try to help someone or an organization, get unstuck, if you will,
yes.
right? Or
yes.
break through with a greater reach, or differentiate from their in their landscape. Everything is being commoditized today. So what we're about is really finding, capturing, discovering the difference of who they are.
That's the key.
And then from there, a lot of things happen from there. But getting to that point is tough for a lot of people, because they're so close to themselves. They're so close.
Right.
That it's blurry.
Right.
Or they're blurred. They're blending in. They're camouflaged.
They can't see it.
True. So that the key word being disruptive, and that's really our mindset from the beginning is disruptive. So how can we really shake them up and really get to hear who they really are?
Right. That's amazing. Because again, with the Pink studies, the case studies that, with your success stories and what we've seen on this show and what I've seen with your clients, a lot of people who have businesses, they don't realize that they need that. So what would you say to someone who they've had their brand, they're not big on social media, they really haven't changed it in maybe 10 years, they're not being relevant, which is what you guys said. Like, how would you encourage them? We're talking to them, but we're also talking to someone who's coming up with something, and you might be looking at it and they're like gung-ho and full speed ahead, and then you might have to say, you know what, and I think you have a story you were telling me out there earlier that might be appropriate that we can talk about in the second session, that you're looking at it from a different perspective, and that lends it to just kind of course correcting, just a shift. That was the word. That shift is so amazing.
Well, I think there's two perspectives. So the first one is monetary. So obviously, if your business is not cutting it, your sales are down. That's definitely one of the biggest things everybody looks at. But the other part is it's like having a real bad job, and you hate going to it every day.
Right.
We've met a lot of business owners that feel this way about their business, and they're so uninspired. And oh my God, how terrible is that?
It's refreshing.
So you've had a brand for 20 years, not a brand, the company for 20 years. You created it, and you're uninspired by this.
That's an excellent point,
That's
because
us.
so many people are just going through the motions, but they're not fulfilled.
Yeah.
And this is what they're doing. This used to be at one point when they did start, it was their passion, and then they lost sight of it. So you guys can kind of reignite and
We
hit
can
that
reignite.
reset button, right?
And we've done this with nonprofits.
That's
Which
fantastic.
is incredible, because nonprofits are usually formed on the principle of their
Right.
passion towards a cause.
Oh my gosh.
So imagine going in there and then doing that, going through this discovery and realizing, wow, you guys are uninspired.
And that's a huge realization, a self-realization. So I want to continue with that, and then we have so many more exciting things. But if you guys need to hit the reset button, if you need to kind of have a discovery about where you are with your brand, and if you're not fulfilled with it, or you are not passionate about what you're offering and what you've been doing on a day-to-day basis, you got to give my friends a call here. Rolly and Bert from Pink Collective. How do they reach you?
954-241-1400. Is that right? Yes.
Yeah.
Or by email, or actually our website. Visit our website.
Yes.
www.thepinkcollective.com.
Perfect. Well, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back with Bert and Rolly from Pink Collective and more about branding, storytelling, and clarity.
And passion, too.
And passion for 2019.
Qué lindo.
Thank you so much. We'll see you in a little bit.
Every human is a brand. Every brand has a story. What's your story? Discover your story at thepinkcollective.com.
At Mr. Restoration, our main goal is to get your family back into your home safe and sound. We are a Florida property damage remediation company with over 20 years' experience in the industry. We specialize in water, mold, fire, and smoke damage. We cover residential, commercial, and industrial properties. Things get hard when a homeowner or renter has to face these problems, but we are here for you. We are with you from the time of the emergency to the moment it's time to get you back into your property. We make property managers, public adjusters, insurance agents, maintenance crews, homeowners, and renters' lives more efficient and easier by following a step-by-step SOS foolproof plan. Put us on speed dial this year and make us your #1 visit at MrRestorationFL.com or call us at 844-878-5285. Interact with us and stay up to date with all the latest news by liking, following, and sharing on all social media platforms. Mr. Restoration, veteran-owned, 2 decades of experience. We served our country. Now let us serve you.
You've been listening to Go Beyond. If you want to be part of the show as a guest, highlighting your business, or you would like more information about the content of the show, email me at readysetgobeyond@gmail.com or share your thoughts and call me at 888-565-1470. Hi, guys, and welcome back to Go Beyond. I'm your host, Jordana Foster. I have the fabulous duo of Rolly Rodriguez and Bert Bornstein from Pink Collective Ad Agency in downtown Hollywood. They are the experts in branding and storytelling, and just having you uncover what it is that you want your brand and message to be, and being really passionate about it, and having a clear message. And we were just talking about how you kind of get that passion back into their brand, into their business, having them get excited again about what it was that they're doing. And how do you do that?
So, I mean,
because that discovery session, that strategy, I think that strategy session is the main starting off point, right?
It's a key thing, because in a brief sec, we've had conversations with a lot of leaders, and when we have these private conversations and we really sort of unwrap them a little bit, their true essence starts to come out. But we don't see that on their website. We don't feel that in their documentary, on their documents. We don't experience that in their narratives, in their visuals.
Really?
So we really go back to discovering and capturing that piece of and it's sort of it's difficult for people to do that themselves until we have a chance to interact, and we start to bring that alive from those two perspectives. How people feel, what they hear, the tone, the visuals. Is it really capturing who they are? More and more leaders have said to us, we're not explaining this or demonstrating this. We're not creating this experience.
Right,
So there's been a disconnect with what they think they're getting across.
Well, it's a good point that he makes, because one of the things that we do come across is like our discovery sessions usually starts with them telling us who they think they are, and that's always the fun part, because it's like, you know, I've heard that. Yeah, you said that 1,000 times already, but no. Like let's dig deeper. Like tell me more about what it is that you're, like let's say we're talking about a specific strength of theirs.
Right.
It's mostly what they do. That's how they explain who they are, is what they do. And we're not interested in what they do.
No, you want to know who they are, because who you are has everything to do with what you do and how well you do that. But the fact that you guys, so many things that make you guys different from an agency perspective, and I worked in one with you, so we know, but that you delve deeper, but you ask the hard questions. You get them to be honest about what, and that's kind of hard from a business perspective, because we all think that we're one way, but because to have their expertise to kind of ask those questions that you might be asking yourself, but it's not about you asking them, it's about them asking you.
Right.
And when you do that, that's when you, I'm sure, uncover all of this kind of like a detective. You're doing detective work.
Well, and it's funny because, it's usually, whatever it is that you're selling, you usually don't own it or buy it yourself, right? So I actually went through the discovery process a couple of years ago to really get to our, our center, like our vision, our essence. And let me tell you, that was wow, because when the scripts changed and it's coming back at you, that really becomes something more personal.
Right.
And you could see, it's like you feel like, wow, you're cornered, but then you start releasing all this stuff, and that's really where our vision for the new, what Pink is now, is based on. It's us really being transformational with our clients. And so I won't take on a client if I feel like we're not good enough, or we're not the right fit. We're just not going to work with you because we're not doing you justice.
And it has to be, you're working in conjunction with, they need to be able, it's a relationship. You're not the yes people. If that's not, you want to uncover the best of who the core, that person is to their core, so that you can deliver and get them the results that they want. And
we go to several layers of the whys. There's a why question, and they'll explain to us, and we'll say, well, why? And they'll come back and they'll try to explain that, and I'll say, well, why is that important? And we get to that second, that third, that fourth level of the why until their eyes begin to open, and they begin to see, okay, we haven't really got to this place, because really we want to get it very, very simple and very compelling and sort of disruptive, but it has to be very honest. But it takes an effort. We did that with the Pink Collective until we got to the place where the essence of the Pink Collective was from a place of truth, right?
Yes.
That transmits across all these boundaries, that transcends across different cultures, and that really transforms the way people see themselves.
So, and I think the big question there, which I want to add, is it's like, why go through this? What's the big deal? Who cares? Like, why discover this?
Right.
So what that has done for our company is that we're able to attract like-minded individuals. So what we become is a magnet for our essence.
Right.
And that's the beauty. That's truly, and then so it works everywhere around. So if you're a business, it's organic. So if you're a business and you resonate from like all the messaging, everything that comes out comes from that place.
Right.
Everything just comes towards you.
That's who you're attracting. Law of attraction, absolutely.
Right. Yeah, we won't get into that.
No,
that's
we're
a whole
not, because that is, and I believe in that. But that's what you're doing. But it's coming from your core, what you did, doing that self-discovery within your own organization, which gave you a perspective.
And confidence.
Right.
The confidence that I can sit in a conversation, be true to who I am, and say the things I need to say.
And that it works.
And
that it works. It comes from a deeper place, but it's on a practical level, it works. If this creative kind of place can drive business strategy when it's aligned right, And we look at that. We're strategists to begin with. We're conceptual developers to begin with.
Right.
So we're looking at how, whatever we're creating, is it going to drive your goals, your objectives? You know, we look at the landscape, we look at the thought leadership, we look at trend, we look at a lot of things and connect dots that typically they're not even seen.
Interesting, because bottom line for business owners, they need the ROI. They
Absolutely.
need by you going through all of this with them, they're getting in touch with the whole message of what they're doing and the why, and you are really steering them in the direction so that they can attract the customers that they're looking to attract and gain the awareness and the visibility, and then get the more business by creating their why on a completely different level that they probably didn't even know existed.
Well, it's funny because all the big companies always talk about culture.
That's true.
And really the work comes from within, because that culture will ultimately go beyond to the external.
Beyond.
Plug. So yes, culture and tapping into understanding that culture is extremely relevant.
I can't believe how quick the time, when we get together, the time just like, whoop. Okay. So when you're talking about transformation, I just want our audience to know some of the amazing things that we can't go into all the detail, but you need to get in touch with them. I can't believe it. Those strategy sessions that you need to get in touch with Rolly and Bert at Pink Collective and their team. How can they reach you? 954-241-1400 or our website, thepinkcollective.com.
I challenge everybody out there, just pick up the phone, call us, or email us, and just ask why. What can we do and how can we do it different?
We're easy to work with.
Oh, they're amazing. And some of the things that you've done, just for some of the guests, the success stories that you've had on the show, you've done, yes, basic things like logos, but you're looking at the logo from how compelling it is and why that logo, to their image, name changes. I know that with, Caddy Can, you looked at it and it was for a boat, and you said, well, wait a minute, you're limiting an entire market for. So these are the things, these are the questions that they actually dig deeper. Oh my gosh. So I want to thank Rolly Rodriguez and Bert Bornstein from Pink Collective for being my guests here tonight. They are the experts on branding and storytelling, and you need to get clarity for 2019 and give them a call. My quote is, you can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. And start by changing with Pink Collective. I want to call them for your discovery and strategy session. You need it, and you'll love it. My name is Jordana Foster. I want to thank you so much for joining us on Go Beyond. My guests and sponsors, Bert and Rolly from Pink Collective, and we will see you here next week, next Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Get in touch with these guys and take your brand to the next level. Have a great night. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you for watching Go Beyond. Tune in next week as we continue to explore effective ways to help you go beyond your limiting beliefs to unlock your true potential to thrive personally and professionally. Learn how to take you and your business to the next level. Contact me at readysetgobeyond@gmail.com. Like and share my video, because sharing is caring. Contact me at 305-753-6758 or go to my website at readysetgobeyond.com.